All right. Good day, everyone. My name is Tori Giffen. I am the Assistant Director of Online Programs here at the College of Education. I want to thank you all so much for joining us for the information session that we have today on the Trauma-Informed Practice in Pedagogy program. We're excited to share some information about the program with you and answer questions that you might have. While we are getting started, we have everybody muted right now, but as we get to Q&A at the end of the information session in this webinar, we have a group that's a good size here that we can go ahead and unmute and people can ask those questions, then ask them, or you can type any of your questions in the chat. Also, take a chance to make sure that the chat's working for you. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat. And then we do have Q&A that at the end of the session, but as we're going, if you think of a question, feel free to get that submitted and we can make sure that we get that answered for you. So, why are you interested in trauma-informed education? Why are you interested in this degree or some of the other program options that we have? Feel free to let us know what you're interested about, if there's anything specific that you want us to touch on or answer for you during this session. It's so good to see those of you who have been able to join us today. And we are glad that to those of you who are watching this video back later, that you're taking the chance to join us virtually. During this session, you will learn about the eligibility, structure, admissions, and career paths. If you have any questions about any of our other programs or even anything that you see in this session today, please contact us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu. We'll be happy to get your questions answered. Connect you with anybody if there's somebody specific that you're trying to get a hold of, but we can get those questions answered for you about the programs. Good to see so many of you from, looks like many people from around the state and then even out of state. So it's good to see everyone. So real quickly, just want to let people know some of the people in online programs that you might be interacting with today in the chat or as you reach out about the program. We have Gina Poff, online academic and student services coordinator. Myself, we also have Brianna Davis, online student advisor. She's also here in the chat and we'll be speaking a little bit later. And then we have Sangeetha Gopala-Christian, our assistant dean for online learning, who's here in the chat with us today. So if any of those people are answering questions, you're in good hands for you. And if you reach out for questions about email, and then as you're a student in the program, we're some folks that you might be interacting with. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Lynn.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited to share this information about this new master's concentration in trauma-informed practices and pedagogy. And thank you all for taking the time to be here. Tori, you running things? Okay, good. Thanks. Our focus in this program is on education settings. The program introduces our students to ways to support individuals who are experiencing the impact of trauma and ways to prevent and interrupt trauma when we're able to influence the source. There are several of us involved in this program. Tori, we're all set to move on. I am Dr. Lynn Burdick. I am the Director of Trauma-Informed Education in the College of Education at the University of Illinois. We also have Dr. Catherine Kaur with us, not with us today, but in the program. She's an Associate Professor in Special Education, and Dr. Mia Chudzig. She is currently a postdoc with the Department of Curriculum and Instruction and Special Education. We are in this collaborative program where Mia is straddling these two departments and teaching our trauma courses. So this program is a full 32 credit master's degree. It's in curriculum and instruction, and all the trauma courses that are part of this program are 8 weeks long, with the exception of one 16-week course. And the program is designed so that students take one course each portion of a semester. So fall A, fall B, one course each of those 2 half semesters. All of our courses are synchronous, which we feel is our strength in this program. There are a lot of programs that are doing this asynchronously, but we talk a lot about creating relationships with students, with peers, with colleagues, and we think that happens best in a synchronous environment. So all of the courses you'll take as part of this program are synchronous courses. They're also taught at times that accommodate working professionals, so beginning after 4. Sorry, Tori, I messed you up. Okay, the next slide, as we discussed, this is a master's in curriculum and instruction with a concentration in trauma-informed pedagogy and practices and pedagogy. The trauma courses focus on awareness of trauma, how we as professionals can respond to trauma, and how we can advocate for our students that are impacted by trauma. The elective courses explore some of the systemic causes of trauma, including systems of oppression present in the education system. So we believe that our focus on equity-centered trauma-informed education is unique in the field. There are other programs that focus on responding to trauma, but we also focus on the root causes of trauma and how to mitigate its impact on our kids. In addition to 3 specific trauma courses that are required, and then 3 additional courses that include trauma-focused courses, this 32-credit master's degree requires a core course in curriculum and instruction, which is called Curriculum Development for the 21st Century, and then 2 foundations courses, one in educational psychology and one in education policy, organization, and leadership. The other requirements of a master's degree in the College of Education at U of I are that there have to be 12 credits of 500 level courses, and that is built into our typical plan of study. And then the traditional time limit is 5 years to completion, but this program is designed to be completed in 4 semesters. Again, 2 courses each semester, with the exception of one, and 1 summer course. So we say a cycle of 2 years. We believe that this program is beneficial for individuals in many career paths. We do focus on the issues and practices to support children of school age, as well as those who work with them. We need healthy adults to create healthy kids. You all know the phrase, put your oxygen mask on before helping others. So we're focusing on supporting kids who've experienced trauma by keeping teachers, professionals healthy, as well as the kids who have experienced trauma in their school situation, in their educational environment. And then finally, as a land grant institution, as we as professionals feel like as passionate advocates for trauma-informed education, we're offering several options to best meet people's needs. And we do want to let you know that in addition to the master's degree, which appears in the right-hand column of this slide, we have a couple of other options for you to learn about trauma. We have a MOOC, which for those of you who are not familiar with that term is a massive open online course in trauma-informed education. It actually went live last week and can be found at online.illinois.edu. If you click on Take an Online Course and follow the links, it's going to take you to Coursera, Illinois, and MOOCs are free. This MOOC is free unless you want a certificate of completion, which then costs $49. I'm actually going to put a link to that into the chat. We're also currently building, me and I are building a micro credential, which will be a training that can appear, it's ISB approved. It can appear on a professional educator license for Illinois educators as additional training in trauma-informed education. those of you outside of Illinois, we can verify 30 to 40 hours of professional development in this program. If that's something you're interested in, you can email me, and as soon as it's up and going, we will let you know. We have a list of people that are waiting to hear that we're ready to roll on that. And the MOOC actually provides the first 8 hours of that micro credential. We also have a graduate certificate in trauma-informed education that's offered for either non-degree seeking or degree seeking students. It's 4 courses and is not transcriptable as a certificate on U of I transcripts, but we provide a certificate that says that you have completed this certificate of study in trauma-informed education. And with your districts, you can work out that as professional development hours. It is 4 courses over the course of 2 years, and includes sort of an action research project in your own classroom, as well as 2 courses that introduce you to trauma-informed education. And I just want to close this portion by thanking all of you for taking the time to explore what we have to offer. We've worked really hard to get where we are, and really believe that this information is critical to the success of so many of our kids today, and to the professionals who support them. So thank you for your time. We're so pleased to have you here.
Okay, so now we're going to take some time to discuss admissions and some financial aid information, as most of our prospective students have questions about this. Admissions are handled through our graduate college application. So if you decide that you would like to move forward with applying for our master's program, you will need to begin with our graduate college application. As a part of that application, you will need to attach different documents such as a resume, letters of recommendation, and that sort of thing. So you can find full details about that application process on our website. Admissions are handled through both the College of Education and the Graduate College. So once you submit your application, our program leaders will review your application and make an admission recommendation to the Graduate College. From there, the Graduate College will review the decision that's made and then process that admission. So that's a long way of saying that if you apply to this program and you are admitted, you'll receive notification of admission from both the college as well as the Graduate College. If you decide that you'd like to move forward with this program, you can begin your application now at choose.illinois.edu/apply, and that is linked here. Some application information. We offer 6 different start dates for this program. If you are interested in beginning your program soon, our fall B term, which is the second 8-week term of our fall semester, will begin in mid-October. That application deadline is September 15th, so it's coming up, but there's still plenty of time to apply. If you would prefer to begin your program in the spring semester, our spring A term, which will begin in January, has an application deadline for December 1st. So those would be our next 2 intake periods. Again, you can apply online, and GRE scores are not required as a part of this application process. In terms of tuition and student financial aid, the cost for this program is currently $520 per credit hour. There are no additional fees for online students, and tuition is subject to change, so please be mindful of that. I would also like to note that any textbooks or course materials that are required of this program are not included in that number as well, so just be mindful of that. If you are seeking full-time status for financial aid purposes, you must be registered for 6 credit hours per semester, which is generally about 2 courses in our program. If you decide to pursue our program, we can certainly help to guide you to ensure that you have an appropriate status for financial aid if that applies to you. For specific financial aid questions, please contact the University of Illinois Student Financial Aid Office directly. They can be reached at finaid@illinois.edu, which is indicated here. And as always, if you have any questions, you can contact us directly. We can be reached at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and Tori will provide that contact information after our presentation has concluded. So So please reach out if you have any questions. We would love to discuss this program and the application process with you further.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sangeeta Gopalakrishnan, and I am the Assistant Dean for Online and Learning Innovation at the college. And we're very happy you have joined us this afternoon to learn a little bit more about this program, about all 4 options, actually, as Dr. Burdick outlined. So you've heard some great information so far. And I wanted to give you some final thoughts on why you should consider joining the College of Education here. So we are a top-tier research university, the University of Illinois. We've been ranked in the top 10 consistently over the last few years by US News and World Reports for our online master's programs. We are affordable, and our courses here, most of our online courses are taught by our world-class faculty, where we prioritize online student engagement. You heard Dr. Burdick talk to this earlier. We really want our students to be engaged in our courses, and our faculty explore different ways to do that. So you will not only learn from world-class faculty at the College of Education, but you will be joining peers who really have very rich and diverse backgrounds. You know, most of them are working professionals. They have rich experiences, and they will share that with you, and so you'll learn from them as well. As online students, you will have access to wonderful resources, including our wonderful library system here at the University of Illinois, which is considered to be one of the best in the country. So these are some other factors to consider when you're looking into joining a program. And so I would say I highly encourage you to consider joining the College of Education here at the University of Illinois. If you want to learn more about our ranking, here's a little news story. And then with that, I think we're going into the Q&A hour.
Yeah, so thank you for that. If you have any questions, don't forget you can apply now. As we've already found out, somebody already has that's here joining us. Hopefully we can answer some more of your questions. But yeah, so now we're into the Q&A portion. I also have a quick few questions for everybody. I meant to do this at the start, and I forgot to do that until now. So if you could just give us some input while you're thinking of any questions that you may have. One question that has come up and comes up often is, as an online student, do you have access to the university library system? And I'm happy to share with everybody that as an online student, you still get access to our wonderful library here at the University of Illinois. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand in Zoom, or you could just come off camera and wave at us and we can get that answered, or you could type it in the chat. I did see one question here for tuition waivers. Can they be used for this program? I'm looking to Brianna or Gina. Brianna?
Sure. So tuition waivers for our online master's programs, unfortunately, our online master's programs are not tuition waiver eligible. So that's that. Gina, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
Just that, like you said, our online programs are self-supporting and don't allow tuition waivers. But if you're interested in an online program, you can reach out to grad services at illinois.edu. And they can assist you with on-campus programs that do accept tuition waivers.
I do want to mention that we do offer some scholarships for incoming online master students. So that is an option. It's not a tuition waiver, but it is a recruitment incentive that we offer.
Yes, thank you for adding that in, Sangeetha. I was just thinking the same thing, that there is that opportunity, and with that new student scholarship that we have for online EDM students, there isn't any additional information that you need to apply outside of the information that you already provide in your application. All applications are then reviewed by faculty in order to identify students that will get selected. And then we got a question, how do scholarships work for out-of-state students? Somebody can go ahead and correct me on this, but I don't believe that there's any difference whether you're in-state or out-of-state, at least for the new online student scholarship. Some other scholarships, if you find them elsewhere within the university that are available, they may have different implications to them. But Brianna, do you have anything else to add with that?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, since I talked a little earlier about tuition and the price of this program. Tuition is the same for resident and non-resident students. So regardless of whether you are in state or out of state, that number is going to be the same for both populations of students, since this is a program that's built to be completed remotely. And so, as you mentioned, Tori, scholarships work the same way. And at least for the online student scholarship. As Tori mentioned, if you're seeking scholarships externally, or if you're seeking scholarships outside of the College of Education, outside of online programs, certainly be sure to review any eligibility requirements for those scholarships. But for the online student scholarship, they would operate the same way for both in-state and out-of-state students.
Then looks like we got a question about another program. I'll let either Mia or Lynn answer. There's a doctorate in CNI for trauma informed.
I can jump on that. I have a doctorate in special education, as does Mia. Those degrees, in special education, there are professors who, specifically Dr. Catherine Kaur, whose research area is trauma-informed education. You can then apply to the program and apply to work with Dr. Kaur. The degree would be a doctorate in special education, and the research focus would be in trauma-informed education. Mia, does that sound correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I also just wanted to clarify that isn't online. So that is one other difference for the programs there. Just want to make sure to add that in.
Thanks, Tori. It's a PhD, not an EDD.
Thank you, Lynn.
You may have already mentioned this early on, but what are the potential jobs that we can seek out once we receive this degree?
So we had that list of career paths that this would help with. We are in Illinois, there's no such thing as a trauma teacher, which we support, incidentally. We think everyone should have the background on trauma-informed education, all educators, both general education and special education. What it would do would be to give people in both fields, or any field, if you think about it in an MTSS structure, whether you're a counselor, whether you're an educator, whether you're a child advocate, it's really the tier one. The focus is the tier one interventions, the way to look at our education environment as it exists currently, and advocate for kids, advocate to eliminate situations that are trauma inducing for kids. So it sort of spreads across all of these different areas, but I would tell you that there's an education focus. in the courses. A lot of courses in the elective list that have to do with systemic causes of trauma. Does that answer your question? There isn't really a degree, a license that results from any of this. It is professional development. It doesn't yield a professional educator license. So it's kind of additional knowledge as you might expect from a master's program that doesn't include licensure. Does that help?
It does, because I'm looking at the list here. It seems a little limited because I'm already a school social worker as well as a mental health professional. And so I'm thinking, okay, so if I have these roles here, what more is this going to do for me? Because I'm also, well, do I get the certificate? Do I receive a certificate, or do I actually go for this if I'm already in two of these roles here? So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what makes more sense to be, a part of.
That's really an excellent question. This is not designed, it's not it's not I don't know how to, it's not a training, it's not to create teachers, social workers, educational consultants. It's not designed to give you the credentials to do that. It's designed to give you additional information about trauma and its impact on kids, how to keep it from happening, how to respond when it does happen in your role as a social worker, as a teacher, as an educational consultant. So it's not a specific position itself that this would lead you to. It's the additional information that will help you support kids who've experienced trauma and prevent kids from experiencing trauma in as we call it, your sphere of influence. What are you able to change to make sure that these kids are supported and to make sure that their educational environment or their therapeutic environment is trauma informed? Better?
Thank you.
Yeah, and I will just say, if you think of any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us if you think of them later, or want some more time, or in sorting out some of the differences there between the certificate and the Ed.M program.
Sky, we don't have anything online currently about the new student online scholarship. We're currently working out those details with our budget and the budget office. If you would email me, and I can't remember whether our contact information is on this.
Lynn,
Sorry.
yes, go ahead and finish that, and I have to clarify something quickly.
Okay. We have these lists of when it's out there, we will send you the information, and the guidelines on the scholarships are on that list. So if you want to email me, we will notify you as soon as those specifics have been established for scholarships. We're trying to make the most people eligible for some kind of support in this program.
So that is so what Dr. Burdick just mentioned is a scholarship offered by the program, by the Trauma-Informed Practices and Pedagogy program. But what I mentioned earlier is a scholarship offered by the Office of Online Programs. And that is something that all new online master's students are automatically eligible for. It's competitive. It's based on merit, so you don't have to do anything special to apply for it. So all applications are considered by program faculty, and then if it meets some criteria, you'll get a $500 scholarship.
And then we did get another question on if you're located elsewhere in the world, can you still participate in this program? Our online programs, we have students that are enrolled all around the world, whether it is temporarily they're located somewhere or some other matter. Courses are offered typically during Central Standard Time, as Lynn talked about, really focusing on synchronous aspects of the program. But if you can make that work for your schedule, we have had students from all over the world that have taken our online programs. Is there anything else that anybody else would like to add to that?
No, the only question that we often get from students who are studying in other countries is regarding the synchronous sessions. Synchronous attendance at synchronous sessions is a requirement of this program and all of our online master's programs. So again, just be mindful if you are not located in the central time zone that you'll want to plan accordingly whenever you enroll in your courses, register for your courses. You'll just want to take that into consideration.
Thank you, everyone, for all of the questions so far. While folks are thinking of other questions that they might have, I'm going to launch another Zoom poll. Please don't feel free to answer this right away, but I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to give us feedback on the session today. And again, this is being recorded, so it'll get sent out to everybody. And if anything you think of afterwards didn't get answered today, again, you can reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and we're happy to get those answers and answer those questions for you.
If I could just jump in, I was just texting with Sangeetha, and those of you who asked about tuition waivers, would you please email me for further information on that? We have lots of, if you're cooperating teachers specifically on the call, would you email me, please?
Any other questions? Anything that we didn't cover that you have questions about? We have time, even if it were maybe on some of the other trauma-informed programs that Lynn briefly shared earlier back on this table. I'll get this up for folks again.
Tori, thanks for bringing this back up. I am realizing that when we talked about the micro-credential and I referred to ISB, our folks from Wyoming and from out of the country will not be clear on that. That's the Illinois State Board of Education. And that credential would appear for Illinois educators. Again, we would work with anyone that you want to notify them of your completion of the program, but it would be specifically aligned and recorded on an Illinois professional educator license.
So with the micro-credential, I completed this course at St. Edward's University in Iowa, Davenport, Iowa.
Mhm.
So is that recognizable as well? I know we just got it's like a badge of some sort. But is that pretty much similar to what you all offer as well? Without knowing.
Actually, sure. The micro-credential is almost 40 hours of content that is specifically approved by the Illinois State Board of Education. And it's approved as a package. And so that is what would result in the micro-credential. Professional development hours, you would be able to likely take that course from Iowa and apply it for professional development hours for licensure renewal. But in terms of achieving that credential, that micro credential as continuing or additional training on your Pell, it would not appear unless you complete our full micro credential package. And as I said, each one of those is specifically approved by the Illinois State Board of Education. So substitutions wouldn't be allowed.
Any other last minute questions? Anything from any of our speakers that maybe we didn't cover that we thought of? Give folks one last moment here. And again, applications are open now. You can apply now for Fall B. That deadline is September 15th, and spring applications are also open, and you can apply for those. That deadline is December 1st, and courses start in January for that. So late January. I don't know the exact date. Brianna, do you know the exact date for spring semester?
I know the exact date for Fall B. I'm not yet on spring, my spring schedule yet. It's usually
January 21st.
excellent. Gina knows the date. Fall B is October 21st. So the 21st must be a popular theme. But as previously mentioned, we do offer 6 start dates for this program. So students can begin in August, October, January, March, May, and June. So a lot of different options, which is great. If you have questions throughout the application process, please reach out to the Office of Online Programs. We are happy to assist you with that.
And if you have questions about the program itself, please feel free to email me. I'm very happy to either talk to you by Zoom or via email. We want to make sure you are clear on any of your questions or concerns. We'd love to have you.
Yes, absolutely. And the same goes to everybody watching the recording back afterwards. Please feel free to reach out to us, even if you weren't able to make the session. If you think of any other questions, or if you'd like to reach out to us and you're watching this recording back, you can do the same as well. And we'd be happy to talk with you and would love to have you join us here at the University of Illinois. Seeing that we don't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and call it a wrap for today. I want to thank everybody who was able to join us, everybody who's watching this recording back later, all of our panelists who were able to share about the program. We really hope that you consider joining us at the University of Illinois and the College of Education here in this trauma-informed practices and pedagogy program. We hope to see your application soon, and we hope you all have a great day. Take care.